Hi everyone. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to bring in your 3D scanned rock into RHINO. First things first, let's open up our internet web browser. I'm using Chrome and just type in 123D catch. Just type it into Google and we're going to go to Autodesk 123D catch. We're going to sign in if you don't already have sign in, and we're going to go to our models here and find your rock model. From here, you're just going to take a view at it, so just click on it basically. And up here it's going to say edit and download. So let's download 3D models here. And basically, we can select all of these to try to get the rock photos out or whatever, but typically all we need is the STL file. So I'm just going to uncheck these two, otherwise just download them all. This will take just a minute. There we go. Right from here, I have a zip file that I'm going to open up, and it might say STL or Mesh Mixer, dependent on your computer. It's all the same file, and mine is labeled rock. So next, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, open up my RHINO file where my original box is. Basically, I am just going to click and drag my rock file into my RHINO file. From there, you're going to have a file options, and typically you're just going to put insert file. Wait for it to load, and you're going to have another option that says this. I typically just click OK. After this, it'll give you a prompt for scaling, and I don't usually mess with anything except for insertion point, which I typically leave unchecked. And just hit OK, because we're going to have to rescale this anyway. So this might take a little bit, depending on how heavy your mesh model is. There we go. So looks like it's a little bit out of scale, but that's fine. So our original box, I'm just going to hide for now. And let's try to zoom in and find the rock. Here it is. So I had mine on a little toilet paper roll, so that's the toilet paper roll, my little kitchen island here. So to kind of break down the rock and just get everything but the rock, what we're going to do is just select where our rock is, and if it selects other pieces, that's fine for now because it's a mesh and it'll all be joined. And if you just select it and type in invert, I-N-V-E-R-T, it'll select everything invert of it. And I typically just delete them all because you will not be needing them. Then select your rock again and type in explode. And this might take a little teeny bit because there's a lot of faces. And you might have to do ungroup to separate it out. So as you can see here, it looks like that's pretty much all it is. And next, what we can do is split it up a little bit. So I laid out my rock on this toilet paper roll, so it's a flat part. So basically, I'm going to just take in a plane, and you guys can do the same. Just bring a plane underneath there, try to leave where the undercuts are, where the detail is in the rock, and then go to your elevational view. I just use my gumball and try to line it up as best as I can. That looks pretty good. See how I'm noticing that there's a little curvature here, so I want to keep that. There's a little bit in here, but not the highest resolution, but that's fine. And so after this, I'm just going to type in mesh split. And I'm going to select my plane, wait a little teeny bit. This will take a little while because the meshes are pretty heavy. Basically, you can just select everything below it, and you're going to have some little artifacts here that are left over, and just select them all and delete them. And same with up here, here. So basically, this is a pretty good representation of my rock that I selected, pretty high detailed. But you notice there's a huge hole, and we don't really want that right now, and it actually says open mesh up here. So one command only for meshes is the fill mesh holes command. Basically that's going to cover up every single little hole, or try to, of this mesh, and hopefully close it up. And this might take a little teeny bit of time. So you can see here, if we select it, It says open mesh, and we can try to hit that button again, fill mesh holes, and it'll close it up. So here we have a closed mesh. So everything's sealed up. And so after this, we're going to show our rock from before, or my measured out rock, and try to just scale it to about the same. Looks like I have it a little teeny bit too big. What we can do to get it just about perfect is try to find, if we hide our little waffle frame here. Also, if you select your mesh, you can join it once more, and that'll make it one complete figure. So I like to try to find defining features. So I know this surface that I measured out prior is this surface. So what I can try to do, if I have my vertex snap on here, I'm going to put points down from where I think I measured. And you guys put marks on your rock so it'll be a little easier. And so I have 4 points there. So I'm only going to use 3 of those points, but they're guides. So typing in orient 3 point, I am going to select the points I just created. They might be a little tricky to find, and I got to remember the order, otherwise it won't orient correctly. This one's a little bit trickier to find. There it is. There we go. And so basically, I just click here, here, and here. That's how that rock fits up, but you can tell it's out of scale. So one thing we can do for this is hit undo, and we can type in orient 3 point once again, or orient 2 point. So orient, just regular. And up here in our settings, what we can do is hit Scale 3D. And with this tool, we find our points, so it's once again, this one we only need 2 points, so it's a little easier. Basically just line it up to the face that we measured off before. And there we go. As you can see, the overlap parts, that's where we kind of got some infidelities here, but it's actually pretty accurate to my measurements. A little bit oversized, but that's to be expected. So this is how you clean up your mesh and orient it to your faceted rock.